What's good, y'all? Welcome back. Yuji has finally activated his domain in the latest chapter of JJK. We've waited years for this and it's finally happening. As always, I won't be showing anything on screen as these are leaks and it could get my channel removed. This video is going to be split into 3 sections. The latest chapter, speculation prior to the latest chapter, and what we know after the latest chapter. So starting off with a Reddit post from 10 months ago, there's a lot of good points here about Yuji's name in kanji, what it translates to directly or indirectly, parallelism with Mahito, Yuji's favorite 2 songs being like representations of life and departure. There's a lot of stuff here. Anyway, I want to get to what's really important with the soul Buddhism stuff. I will link this Reddit post in the description. This is from 10 months ago. This is not by me. Japanese Buddhism teaches that souls can reincarnate. This concept is called samsara. Sukuna's technique, shrine, is based on Buddhist hell / Naraka, the hell realm, and Yuji. His opposite may have a technique connected to Buddhist heaven, saga, or the devil realm. I'm going to read what he wrote in quote, and then we're going to talk about it after. Because it's funny, this is from 10 months ago, and stuff has happened since he's posted this that kind of makes sense. Gojo says that with enough time, Sukuna's techniques will eventually get engraved in Yuji's body. However, we have not seen anything that follows up to that prediction yet. In the last 10 months we have. So we've seen RCT. The training scene with Kusakabe possibly hints this. Sukuna's techniques gave the blueprint for Yuji's own technique engraved in his body information. Thus, his technique may be a derived form of shrine that suits his needs. Theory on the subreddit mentions that the shrine is actually Sukuna's way of accessing the cursed realm, a place between life and death. I don't know how really true that is or how much I believe in that, but Yuji's technique too might operate on the basis of this. So his prediction is that Yuji's curse technique is the Shrine of Heaven or Benevolent Shrine. It allows Yuji to directly interact with the souls and may grant him access to the realm between life and death. Now, I definitely believe there's some type of soul manipulation with Yuji's curse technique / domain. Yuji is able to directly attack the soul because of his understanding of it. That's probably true. It goes on. But this is what I think is very interesting here. Yuji is able to switch souls, essentially reincarnating them into different vessels on a condition which is probably direct contact or any other condition. Evidence: switching bodies with Kusakabe. Yuji will be able to completely separate a soul, but on some condition, like a fight in the innate realm of the target. Now, this might actually make sense because we don't know where they're at. Yuji, we have Yuji Sukuna right now. We don't know where he's at in Yuji's domain. There's not enough pages to really tell, but they're somewhere. Domain, Benevolent Shrine. A domain which buffs the user by increasing the strength of their soul and grants the user the ability to switch souls without contact. So, Yuji, in summary, Yuji is a parallel to Mahito, and his technique would be around something similar. Yuji's CT may be derived from Sukuna's shrine, which got engraved in his body. It is the reason his ability to damage souls and recover quickly. It also provides him the ability to switch souls and maybe even free a soul from a body. The latest chapter, Yuji opens his domain on Sukuna. Now, if what we see here is his hand technique, and we see Sukuna kind of shocked, a little bit perplexed. We see Yuji Sukuna. Yukina? We see Yukina. And that's pretty much all we have to go off of. We're not going to recognize what train station or wherever this is. But the hand sign is where it gets interesting. Full credit to Shiki on Twitter for pointing this out. I will post this in the description. He said, it seems that Yuji's mudra is the Kisiti Gabra. It's a Buddha whose duty is to guide souls that has had no chance of redemption on life. What does that sound like? That sounds a lot like Yuji and Sukuna. That's why this makes sense. Great catch. Kisiti Gabra also translates to womb of earth. Among other things, it is a great pointer to how Yuji is still a vessel. Now, instead of hosting a demon, he's now the vessel of the will and hopes of others. Yuji is finally coming into his real role. Fearsome womb, cursed womb, womb profusion, womb of earth. What is Gege cooking? Honestly, what is he cooking, man? You got me. I don't know what he's cooking. He's cooking something good, though. He cooked something good. He's been cooking. Here we see Kisiti Gabra is known for his vow to take responsibility for the instruction of all beings in the 6 worlds between the death of Gautama Buddha and the rise of Maitreya, as well as his vow to not achieve Buddhahood until all hells are empty. So, to summarize, Yuji's hand sign is that of Kisiti Gabra, a Buddha that guides others to enlightenment before he guides himself. Now that sort of tracks, since Yuji does want to save everybody, and he was ready to die whenever he ate the fingers. He was ready to do what he needed to do before getting executed. This is the perfect mantra for Yuji, as Kshitigabra didn't want to attain the chance to become a Buddha until all hells are purified. He is the guardian of souls. For the last thing, his cursed technique or domain expansion. That's all the facts. One thing I want to say, this is just my opinion before the video ends. I mean, obviously his domain has something to do with souls, his cursed technique / domain. Yuji uses a domain, and then what we see here is Yuji Sukuna. We don't see the fully resurrected version of him inside of Fushiguro. We see the regular version. Now, let's say this is one of two things here. We're seeing fan service for this being the final fight and for it just being Yuji, or just being Sukuna, or they just happen to look similar because they're related. One of those two. Here is my final guess. The fact that it is not the fully resurrected Sukuna and that is Yuji Sukuna, and all this stuff with the hand signs and all this stuff relating to Yuji's being something to do with souls and him being the opposite of Mahito, I think it's already over. I think it's already over and we don't know that yet. I think that he's lost. That's why we see Yuji so nonchalant in the domain. The thing about a domain is that the curse technique is guaranteed to hit. And I think it already did. I think the soul is already split. And that's why we see the thin looking Sukuna sitting down all confused. He doesn't know what's happened. He's like been pulled out of his body. I don't know what's happening. I think it's over. And Yuji is going to have a talk with him or walk and talk, show him something. It doesn't feel like they're getting ready to fight, but I definitely could be wrong. All in all, between Divergent meaning going to different paths and splitting, the Jacob's Ladder hitting, and the dismantle being targeted to the barrier between the two souls, plus Yuji's soul-oriented domain, which is what I'm guessing, I think Sukuna is cooked. I think he's cooked. Anyway, next week is going to go insane, and I will see you guys there.